morning everyone, welcome back. I'm going to make a start today on the mixed media piece that I mentioned that I wanted to start. So I practiced last night once with this new palette. I've just dampened the colours, just popped a drop of water on each of them. If you are curious what they are, it's the Art Philosophy Prima watercolours, and this is in the Decadent Pies. I have already ordered the skin palette. Oh gosh, what's it called? Complexions, I think it's called. But this has got a good range of skin colours already, so that's just going to be a bonus. This one was next day delivery, but the other one's like a three and a half week wait, which is strange. But anyway, so yeah, I've messed around already with these watercolours and I'm really enjoying them. I have got as well, which I might end up dipping into because there is only 12 colours in here. I've got my Winsor & Newton palette, which you've all probably seen before. It's quite messy, forgive me. But the only thing is, I struggle mixing the colours that I want. And with this palette, it's more or less, you know, it's done. I'm still having to mix some colours, like, I mean, that's not a perfect skin tone colour, but it's a lot easier than having to mix the colours from scratch. So I'll show you the selection of colours that I'm working with. I'm hoping to just stick with this sort of palette. Go over with pencil. I want to use, I don't think it's tissue paper, it's thicker than tissue paper. It's what you wrap a present in, but not as thick as wrapping paper. For these areas, I want to use acrylic paint, glitters, I mean, all sorts. I've even actually printed this off on watercolour paper. Let me just find the pad again, just in case you are interested in the paper that I'm using. MysticArtMirrors, I think it's quite a small company this. Again, I bought it off Amazon and I think it was about £11 or £12 for 30 sheets, but it's super thick. And like I said, that picture that I did last night is coming out beautifully, considering it's a practice page. So I have got my palette here. These are some of the colours that I was using last night. So I'm just going to dampen my brush again. And what I'm using, because I've run out of kitchen roll, I'm just using an old tea towel and I'll just pop it in the wash when I've finished. So I'm going to pop a little bit of the peach cobbler on the palette. Add a little bit more water because I want this first layer to be quite translucent. So I'm happy with that amount there. I'm just going to wash off the brush, and I'm pretty sure I mixed in last night. It was a really lovely colour, the skin tone colour that I ended up making. This one is apple. I'm going to have to lighten that up very slightly. A little bit more water. Like I said, I want this quite thin, the first layer. I could go with a darker skin tone, I suppose. I did lighter last night. I'll just add a little bit of the banana cream. Just wipe off my brush. I've been wanting to do something like this for a little while, and I really do want to get better at watercolour, you know, so the more I do, the more I practice, hopefully I'll get better at it. Right, I'm quite happy with that colour, I think. Let's just add a teeny weeny little bit more of that banana shade. So yeah, now I've got my eye on all of the other palettes. There's a pastel palette, which again I think that's about 3.5 weeks wait. There's a tropical palette. I can't remember the other ones. There's a basic palette, like, you know, basic reds, oranges, blues, greens, that sort of thing. Right, we'll just start now. So I think I'm going to start from the top and work my way down, just so I don't smudge it. This paper and this ink on my printer didn't run last night, but it'll be sod's law now that I'm filming. Something's going to happen. So what I'll do, I'll zoom you in a little bit. I had to put the paintbrush in my mouth. I didn't want it going all over my desk. I've not put my old mat down, I forgot, so I'm going to have to be really careful. If you hear dogs barking or whinging in the background, they've both been in a really let's say, fun mood this morning. So if you hear me telling them off and you hear a noise, you know what it is. So let me just lift that up a little bit. That side's looking a bit darker. Let's see, that's just normal light. I think we'll go for normal light for now because it's casting a glare on the page and I can't see very well. So she's definitely going to be a little bit more tanned than my girl last night, but nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I'm just finding it fun using watercolour paints. I mean, they're hard. They're a lot harder than pencils. I'm quite used to them now. But the mixing of the colours and not getting streaks, that's my main issue that I'm having at the moment. I picked out this piece because of the sections. You're not having to work in one big area, especially on the face. That's where I seem to always mess up. So there's no telling that this is going to come out perfect. It might not do. I'm just going to wipe the brush again. I'm going to try and lift up some of this paint up here. I think it's a bit too dark. I've gone in with quite a heavy hand to start off with. Right. I'm not too worried about the embellishments on her face. Because like I said, I am going to go over with different mediums, so it's fine. So how is everyone? It feels like it's been a long time since I've done like a proper sit down chatty video. I've done streaming, but that's different. We went out at the weekend for a lovely meal. Me, my husband, my daughter and my son, to a steakhouse. It was called Miller & Carter. We go there quite often actually. It is really, really nice. I'm one of them people though that has to get the same thing. Once I find something that I like, I get the same thing. I don't even need to look at the menu anymore. 8-ounce sirloin steak, medium to well, peppercorn sauce, blue cheese sauce with the wedge dip, jacket potato with butter, and mushrooms on the side. That's all I have. I've never had anything different. I am going to go over the lips with this colour. I always like to base the skin, the lips rather, with the same colour as I'm using for this skin. I'm going to go over while it's still a little bit wet, this area, just to darken it up slightly. I'm not having to constantly dip into the paint as well with these watercolours. Oh yeah, it's quite a nice colour that. So I hope you don't mind me picking a page that she's showing her boobies. But it is an adult colouring channel, so there shouldn't be any children watching this video anyway. I feel like a broken record, keep saying the same thing. I might even try my Neocolor 2s on watercolour paper. I've never tried that before, and I've not used them for the longest time. I sort of go through phases. Like markers as well, I've not used them in quite a while. So I think these insects are actually moths. I wanted to use the leopard print tissue paper, but I don't think it's going to go with this image. I've got another. I don't know if you remember way back when I added the video of one of my Hannah Calzon pages where I printed out some old lettering and I popped that paper in the sink with some tea bags and stained the paper, and I used that for some of the background. I have got some of that left over that I've saved. That might possibly go well with this. Right, I'm going to add even more water to this palette now. Again, I'm going to work from the top and work my way down. I'm not sure what colour I'm going to have to use to darken this colour up to make more shading. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to work a little bit quicker in the larger areas, just so I don't get any weird lines. I'm going to add a little bit more water again. I was meant to start this video last night, but I think I spent about 2.5 hours playing Pokemon before bed. I'm probably about 30 odd Pokemon, so I've finished the Pokédex, so it's doing my head in now. I just want to get it finished. Again, I'm just trying to be as quick as I can, just to get the colour down and avoid any streaks. With this bottom area, I was gonna try and make it more of a straight edge, but I think it'll be better if it's quite jagged. Like so. Right, just leave that for a second now. I'll leave that to completely dry. Let me zoom you back out and I'll start mixing another colour. I might even use the heat gun, but I won't do that on camera because I know it's annoying to listen to. So I'll keep splitting it up this video, letting things dry and then coming back and working on it again. Right, the top part is dry now. All I've done with that same colour that we had, I popped a little bit of the apple in just to darken it up a little bit. But I took some out of there, transferred it just to make sure that I've got a little bit left over. I've added a little bit more water to it as well. So let's wipe my brush and we'll go back in. So I'm using the slightly darker shade this time. I don't want too much on the brush. And let's add some shades. The way that I did it last night, I popped down the colour, like I worked on all of the colour, and then I went over with a clean brush and blended the shading out, and that worked quite well. So we'll try again on doing the same thing. Just trying to work out where there would naturally be shadowing. Add a little bit more. Just try and make sure it's matching under the lip. sides of the nose. I did bring it up last night to the bridge. Let me just check. Yeah, I did, but she's looking a different way on that one. This one's straight ahead. So I'll add a little bit under the chin. Let's wipe the brush off and we'll go in and blend that. They're really quick to activate these, like with my Paul Rubens. It takes a few minutes of leaving the water there, a couple of drops of water before you can actually get the true colour. But with these, they're pretty quick. I think if you tried to do this technique with a lot of water on, you know, normal colouring paper, you might have bobbling of the page. I'd just be really careful. That's why I've decided to print it off on watercolour paper. Right, I'm going to add a little bit more though, while it's still wet. Drag that colour down. Right, should have a little bit of shading here. My main problem, I'm struggling with hands at the minute, I really am. Where am I meant to add the shading? A jasmine picture that I finished over the weekend. I literally put 3-4 lines on like a knuckles, like here, and God only knows why I've done that. And I think I did that with pencil as well. And if I went in to erase it, it would have erased, you know, the bit that I didn't want erasing. But I've left it as it is. I'm going in and blending, adding it. I wasn't even in frame then, sorry. I just added shading again. I'm just going in, blending it out. I'm still trying to get used to this new tripod being right in front of me. So I do apologise. And a little bit more. It would be underneath here, wouldn't it? Because the headdress is going to be casting quite a bit of a shadow there. I'm going to put a little bit on her hand and her arm. Drag that down. And again underneath the boobies. I'm just making sure that you've got plenty of water on the brush to do the blending part of it. I've just noticed she's not got a belly button. That's weird. I'm quite happy with that shading. I'm going to go in, like I said, with a little bit of pencil later on once it's dried. What should we do with the flowers? I think a blue would be nice, you know. We're going to go in with the quite dark, it's called Blueberry. So let's pop this here. and I'm going to mix it with the slightly lighter blue, which is blackberry and blueberry I've got here. So wipe off the brush. And let's mix them two together and let's add plenty of water. Just try and thin it down a little bit. Right, I'm going to work on these two flowers, I think, and possibly the wings. Or should we make the wings the same colour as the moths maybe? I'm wanting to use really only the colours out of this palette. I didn't really want to have to use the Winsor & Newton one, but I will do if I have to. I'm going to wet my brush again, dip into the paint. Right, that's a good base colour down, I like that. And let's do the exact same thing on the other side. I'll work in the middle and spread it out. That's such a rich, vibrant blue. I love it. I nearly said again then, I'm cold again today. Every video I feel like I'm moaning about. I've got the radiators on again. It's been super, super cold this last 2 days. You know, it was a hats and gloves job this morning. I'm going to add a little bit more of the darker blue, like so. Add more water. And I'm going to let that dry, or no, I'll use my heat gun off camera and then we'll go back in and do the shading. That should be dry enough. And I think I'll work at the top and work my way down. Do I need it to be a little bit darker? That I think I do. So I'm just adding a little bit of the blackberry. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So I'm just shading the inside of the flowers here, and I'm going to have to work on some of the outsides. This would be a little bit darker, so with that outside bit. You know when I'm concentrating because I go all quiet. Let's let that dry again. Let's work on the other side. All the birds chirping away outside. I thought about doing this as more of a speedy up video as well, but you know, I can talk you through it just in case anybody does want to follow along. You've got this picture, not necessarily if you've got this picture, but if you've got these paints, you get the idea. So I'm just wiping off the brush again, dipping it in the clean water, wiping it off. And then I'm going to go in and slightly blend some of these edges. I do like the look of it already, so I'm not going to blend too much, I don't think. Just certain areas. Just so there's not such a harsh line. A little bit there. Yep. If you do get too much, let's say if I'm blending all this area and I'm not wiping off the brush, you'll end up moving some of the darker pigment over the areas you don't want it, so just make sure you keep wiping the brush as you go. I'm quite happy with them. Right, for the green leaves, there is only one green in this palette and I like it as it is, so I'm not going to bother mixing any other colours, but I'm not going to take it directly from the pan because it'll be too dark. So I'm just going to pop some of the colour in there and add some water. Like this. And we'll just start on the leaves. Right, so I'm going to have to unclip to work on these top bits. But it's definitely on the yellow side, this green. It's like a really moss green. What's it called? Key lime green. Very, very nice green colour. But I thought if we use just the colours that were in this palette, it's sort of taken away the added picking your own colours because it's done for you. I downloaded I think it's called Artsy app. Like say if you take a picture of something and you like the colour palettes, it'll tell you what prismas and polys and luminance pencils to use. I've not used it yet, but it's there, it's on my phone ready to use. So if I'm not sure, I can just go to that. I'm wondering what I can use to darken this up. There's a brown shade called pecan that I could possibly use. You know, just for the, I always make the leaves darker like from the bottom and then bring it up very slightly. I especially like painting leaves and not colouring them. As you all know, I hate leaves. There's too many leaves on a page, I will not colour it. So doing it this way is super quick. You can still go over with pencil to add a little bit more detail, it just takes the tedious work out of it. So how many here are going to get the new Colour in Heaven magazine, the Hannah Carlson one? I'm a bit disappointed. I've seen Kate's flip through from Kate's Colour in Heaven. I've seen her, obviously, video, and she's gone through it, and there is no exclusive pictures. So, you know, for all those people that have got all of her books, it's sort of like, well, you don't really need to buy it. The only thing that's really good about it is you could use whatever mediums you want, alcohol markers, etc. Because there's no page on the back, they're all single-sided. And I suppose it's good for beginners or people that haven't tried Hannah's work. But for someone that's got all the books and has worked quite a lot in her books, it's sort of a little bit disappointing. I know that Hannah Lynn, when she does the Colour in Heaven, she does a couple of exclusive images. So I was a bit disappointed to see that she's not done that. She's sort of just took a mix, and well, it's a good mix. It's a good mix from the boots that she's already done, from her very older ones to a brand new one. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed. So I think I'll be back to buying her PDFs. Right, so I am going to add a little bit of that peak. I don't know what this is going to turn out like. It might be too, yeah, and it's turned reddy brown, so I'm going to add more of the green. You have to bear with me while I get this right colour. That might not be too bad if I use a very light hand. So I'll work on these top ones. And I'm going to just go in with the exact same way that I did it with the skin. Just pop the colour on and then go in with a clean brush to blend out. It's going to make them more autumny leaves, this, I think. But she's fine. She's been out sunbathing in the cold, in the wind, yeah. That's what we'll say. Right, let's wipe off the brush again. I bet you're sick of hearing me say that. And let's blend. Keep wiping the brush off as you go, just so you're not getting the dark colour everywhere. It is probably easier using a tea towel actually. This is a lot better, opposed to keep picking the tissue paper up. I mean, I can just pop this in the washing machine and it's reusable. I think I might stick to using paints like this. Why didn't I think of this earlier? I'm just dipping into the clean water now. It's going a little bit dry. I'm going to go in ever so slightly with just a little bit more, but slightly darker. Oh, it's turning out pretty. Just at the very, very bottom of each of the leaves. This is just going to save me a job later with the pencils. I will get round to as well. I was requested, I think, Kayla, did you request it? The pan pastel. Like I said, I'm on a watercolour kick at the minute, so once I feel like I'm getting better at it, I'll go to something else and come back to it. So I will come back to the pan pastels. It's just I've got a couple of things on my list that I need to do before that. I've got 2 people have requested to do colour alongs with me, so I need to start one of them. It was the winner of the giveaway. I did one with Kirsta in the Jasmine boot. That's the one I was telling you about that I think I messed up the hand. I did that one with her, and then Steph wants to do one. And what was the other? I don't know the other lady's name. I just go off her Instagram name. So we're deciding on a book for that one. But if you do ask to do colour alongs, I'm more than happy to do them. Just give me a little bit of time because I've got all sorts on at the minute. Right, I'm really happy with that. I'm just thinking this one here for the moth. I'm just going to swatch it out into the palette because if I remember correctly, this one isn't as pigmented as the rest. Yeah, it's definitely not, so I am going to use it straight from the pan. And again, that's a lovely skin tone. I'm just going to go over the whole of the moth, the wings, everything with this. It's just so there's a colour down there, I've got something to work with. Oh, I missed a leaf. Every video I say this, every video. I always miss something. So I'm glad I caught it while my paints were still out. It is really a nudie colour this, it's barely there. I do hope the camera's picking that up. Right, let's go in and fix that leaf. Is it just the one there? I think it is. And I've only got the dark one. Right, so I'm going to have to go straight into the green. And wipe that off, that's too much. That should be alright. Add a little bit of the brown. And you know what, looking at it now, I'm going to add some of that brown to the wings rather. The wings of the moth just at the bottom, and then I'll drag the colour up. She needs some nail polish as well. Right, and let's blend these out. I can hear an Ina. I'm still having to stop every time I see an ambulance or, well, I won't hear it first. I'm still having to stop and put my hands over Isabel's ears. She really, really doesn't like it. The doctors can't really explain why she does that. She does it at that, and then she does it if one of the dogs like does a really high-pitched bark. It's more like a squeal. She does it then. It's a shame. Right, what colour was I on there now? I'm going to have to add a little bit more of that brown here. Just so I'm able to drag it up a little bit better. Same here. This paintbrush is one of the ones that I got for free. The Derwent ones. You just paid the postage and you got it was like a little bit of a mixed bag of products that you could try, from fine liners to paint pens to paint brushes. It was a little bit a while ago now. They'd stopped doing it after about a week, I think. I think they must have run out of stock. I don't know who shared it now. I think it was just on a generic group that I'm on Facebook. I honestly can't remember. But I'm really impressed with how this watercolour paper is taking all this actually. Right, let me zoom out now. I think I'm going to call it a day with the paint now. I think I'm going to completely let it dry. I'm not going to mess around with the heat gun because I'm a bit nervous about it bending the paper. So I'm going to completely let it dry and then come back and carry on working with a different media. So I'll tidy all this up. Right, so I am going to go in with Neocolor 2s. I'm more or less dry there. I've picked these three colours out. I think it'll complement the skin tone and the leaves quite nicely. So we've got English Red, we've got Vermilion and Crimson Alasia. How the bloody hell do you pronounce that? Alasia hue. So I've gone with them three shades, and I'm just gonna, there's gonna be no reason to it. I'm just gonna splatter it everywhere and anywhere that I feel like it. That seems to have worked in the past, so we're going to go with that again. Again, I've not used Neocolors with watercolour paper before, so this is completely new to me. I mean, the idea is it should be good with water mediums, so it should be, it should work out alright, I think. Going with the lighter colour. And this is more of a pinky brown colour. I'll keep you zoomed out just while I'm popping the colour down. And again, I'm not going to worry about all of these bits because I possibly might go over with my Paul Rubens. I've not decided yet. I mean, I thought it'd take me even longer going round all them, so we're not doing that. We're trying to make it as easy and as fun as possible without worrying too much. I do really need to give some of these a sharpen. Work a little bit at the top. I'm trying to use the sharper ones for the ones that are closer to the image, so I don't go over them. And I can use this lighter one that's more blunt, where I'm not too worried. Just be a bit careful here. This is definitely satisfying with the noise that it makes. It's so much quicker. So I am going to go over probably, I'm going to go over the majority of it, and then it frees me up to where I want to put, I don't know what I'm going to call that. Is it like collage? I think it is. Yes, yeah, so it frees it up a little bit. So I'm not, well, if I don't put any paint here, then I'm going to have to cover that up. You know, I don't want to do that. I'm probably going to need a bigger brush as well, actually. Right, let's work at this bit. Remove the paper. It's like being a child again, playing with these crayons, you know, and not worrying about where the colour's going. It's fun. If you've not tried nail colours on watercolour paper, please do. I don't know how I'm going to do that bit yet. I'll hopefully just be able to manage to merge the colours bit together, but we'll see. Let me put some more of the lighter one down here. And we'll finish off with the brown. Right, now that we've got that, let's move them out the way. I'm going to use that brush that I was using the last time. I'm just looking for, I mean, I've got all my brushes in here, it's not really that organised. I'm looking for one of my older ones because I know I'm going to end up destroying. That's too small. Ah, there we go. That's my older one. And is that one as well? Yeah, that's too small. So I'm going to use these two brushes. This one has already been battered quite a bit, to be honest. So we'll go in with this one. And I'll start anywhere. And I'm going to do the same thing, keep wiping off the brush on my tea towel at the side of me. Let's get the water a bit closer. This is just, it's just fun, this is what it's meant to be. I'm being a little bit more careful around the leaves. Sodding leaves again. I hope as well this shows you how good nail colour 2s are if you've not used them before. And they do work very, very well in certain colouring books. I mean, your thinner ones, like your Amazon printed ones, you've just got to be so careful with how much water that you're using. It's sort of, I mean, it doesn't take the fun out of it, not really, but you've just got to be so careful. Otherwise you'll just end up with the bobbly bits everywhere all over your page. Nobody wants bobbly bits. It's definitely got more texture, this paper. I hope I printed it on the right side. I'm a newbie when it comes to watercolour paper. Looking at the camera now, I will zoom you in very slightly so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. I'm having fun, that's what I'm doing. There's a little bit there that I've gone over with green. Let's add a little bit. So I just pinched it from that area. And pop it down the middle, like so. I should have probably taped this piece of paper down to my surface, but I can't manoeuvre my hand, it hurts my wrist. Changing the position, so I need to be able to move the piece of paper. That makes it a little bit easier. As you can see, these activate so quickly. I am being careful around the leaves, but I'm not like, you know, panicking. I was in the supermarket at the weekend and they started putting out, well actually it was last weekend, they started putting out Easter eggs already. I mean, Christmas over, boom, Easter. It's ridiculous. I'm going to say to everyone this year, do not buy my kids Easter eggs, because they don't eat them. They don't eat them. And they sat in the fridge then for 6 months. I mean, Isabel might have a little bit of a Milky Bar one, but when Lewis gets them, unless it's Terry's chocolate orange, you won't touch them. And then guess who ends up eating them? Me, that's who. And I complain about putting weight on. No Easter eggs at Christmas, family, if you watch this. Easter eggs at Christmas, Easter eggs at Easter. Yeah. Isabel likes Peter Rabbit. She'd like a Peter Rabbit book instead. So I'm officially on the countdown now for the holidays. It's less than 7 weeks now till I go. Everything, well, all the rides and everything I've booked. Been quite organised though, and I've impressed myself. Wrote it all down in a diary. I've got it all ready there on the app as well. I'm not bothering booking any restaurants until we're there. Because how can I say in 7 weeks time that I fancy going to an Italian or go and getting burger or pizza or, you know, whatever. I can't say that. So we're just going to leave that open and not organise. Right, I'm going to move it up here. Let's move on to this area. Oh, we see Isabel for an appointment as well last week. She needed to get her wheelchair adjusted because she's grown. When I walked in, the lady was nice enough. It's somebody that I've not met before. Anyway, she says to me, can you tell me of Isabel's problems, etc, etc. This lady didn't even know that Isabel has got cerebral palsy. Now, Isabel is 3 years old, and we have known about the cerebral palsy since she was at least 1. At least. We knew that there was going to be some sort of, she'd have some sort of issues because she was born 12 weeks early. But then going to an appointment to see a professional, and for them to say that they wasn't aware that Isabel had cerebral palsy was ridiculous. So you can imagine my reaction, my face. So yeah, that was, let's put it, fun last week. The lady was nice enough, it weren't her fault. It was just the whole system mustn't have been updated from all them years ago. I'm just going to have to be really, really careful here. Just trying to get all these edges, and I don't want to accidentally put my finger in it, which, believe me, I've done many of times before and wrecked a picture. I'd be a bit more careful around the hands. I don't really want to be using that other brush because I know that the technique that I use, the swishing around sort of, it can destroy your paintbrushes. And that Derwent one is a nice one. I don't want to spoil that one. And this one was just a little cheapy one. Right, so this area now I'm sort of blank. I'm going to completely wash off the brush here and very, very slightly just try my best just to blend these edges. I mean, I know I'm not going to get it perfect, but it's fine. Right, let's zoom you back out. As you can see that I'm adding, the more water that I'm adding, it is starting to buckle ever so slightly. So we are going to leave it again, let it dry completely, and then we can get to the pencils and any other, what else should we use? Well, I'll decide anyway. I'll just let this dry and I'll come back. Right, so I've used the heat gun on it, it's completely dry now. I have pulled out a couple of stencils. One more with a flowery pattern and one more of a peacock pattern that I'm going to use. Pan pastels. I'm going to have to use that closer to the end, I think, because we need to go over and set it with the hairspray. So I pulled out my Polychromos pencils and I'm going to straight away work on her eyes. I already know what colours that I want it to be. I need my white, so I need a white gel pen as well as a fine liner. Let's bring you in a little bit closer. So the green I'm using is grass green. I'm just going to colour the whole area with this. Let me just move you down slightly. I have turned the light on. I don't know whether it looks better colour wise, but I don't want to be casting a shadow with my hand. So let me just rearrange that and bring it closer. If I go like this, it's not overly better, but we'll go with it. So I'm going over the whole area with that. I can't do anything too fancy with the eyes because the eyes are quite, you know, it's not a massive area to work with. I'm going to go in with permanent green just to darken up. It's interesting to see what these are going to be like actually. And the darkest green I'm going to use is pine green. I can definitely feel that it's pushing the tooth of the paper down. I don't know what this paper, if I coloured a big area, I mean, I don't know what it'd be like. Nothing too fancy smancy about the eyes. It's not about the eyes with this picture. The fine liner I've got out because I want to block these white. I don't want them there. So we'll take them out. And with the white, I just wanted to add over the already there highlights. Add a line here, like I always do. I'm going to leave that white gel pen out because I'm not finished with that yet. For the lips, I'm going to keep it quite nude, I think. So where's my nudie colours? Medium flesh. Yeah, as you can see, you can see the tooth of the paper. Let me check the camera. Yeah, it's definitely picking up as well. So what I might do is try and go over the blender. Let me just see which one is going to be the best. Got my Prisma one. Actually, let me try this burnisher. I've not used this one in a little while. I just want to try and get rid of that graininess, and I don't think I'm going to be able to by the looks of it. It's, yeah, so pencil isn't going to be the greatest thing on this paper, which is fine. You know, I'm not using it for that. I would have liked it to have been a little bit better. Let's try the Caran d'Ache, the full blender. No, it's the same thing. I think we're going to get the same issue with every sort of blender with the, because of the texture of the paper, unfortunately, but you know, it's fine. I didn't buy it for that reason, so I'm just going to put a little bit of a highlight in the middle and dab off with my finger. So the blues for the flowers. Now that I know that about this paper, I'm not going to be able to do much pencil work, which is, you know, it's fine. Cobalt blue greenish. Let's try that, that's fine. Just to add a little bit of something. I will try these paints in a colouring book as well, and we'll see how they react to that sort of paper. The Pop Manga book, that is really, really good for taking any sort of water mediums, so we'll try that. I'll probably try that in my own time just in case it ends up being a little bit of a mess. I've not recorded it then, but I'm sure it'll be fine. See, you can definitely see the lines of the paper. So I'm not going to go overboard with these pencils. I think I'm going to have the same problem with any brand of pencils, not just because these are a harder pencil. Just adding a little bit of something. Right. For the embellishments that are hanging down, I do want to use my sparkle pens. I'm not going to go in with any more pencil. I don't feel like I need to. So my sparkle pens are here. My little swatching book. So let's have a little. So we've got blue, we've got quite a dark blue here. That might look quite nice. Oh yeah, that is a very nice blue. Yeah, we're going to go in with that. So this is the Spectrum Noir sparkle pens. I have used these quite a lot on my channel already, but I was just hoping that it would be easy with these. I'm still having to be pretty careful. How's that looking? Yeah, I like that. And yeah, this is why I wasn't too concerned about going over these areas. It would have took me forever and a week going around all, it would help if it was in frame. It would have took me forever going around all these areas, worrying. So I'm glad I've just, you know, gone over. I just wanted to sort of have fun with this, not worry about it, and just chuck all sorts at it, just to see what this paper can do. And I'm impressed. I wish it was a little bit better with the pencils, but you can't have everything. I've got a nice brown colour actually that I might use on the moth's bodies. That will look quite nice, I think. I don't know if I mentioned it at the start of the video, but this is MysticArtMirrors, the beautiful creatures. I haven't got the physical copy of this one, I bought the PDF. So I just went back onto Etsy and re-downloaded it to print this one off. So if you definitely like your mixed medias, I would really recommend getting a PDF version of whatever book that you like, obviously if it is available. Not all books are in PDF form. But especially the majority on Etsy are. All the Hannah Lynn ones are. All of these ones. You've got Mariola Boudet. I mean, there's all sorts. There's all sorts. I need to turn this paper because I'm going out the lines a little bit there. Let's just fix that. That bit's looking a bit messy. Whoops-a-daisy. I have got quite a fine tip on these, but I'm still struggling to stay in the lines. Do you think we should have put clothes on her? I wouldn't even know where to start, I don't think, drawing the clothes on. Almost there. I feel like I'm on the verge as well of getting a cold again. Especially with this weather at the moment. Well, I was sneezing last night, I've been sneezing this morning. Oh no, not again. I don't mind getting a cold, but I just don't want Isabel to get it. It really is a shame, she can't blow her nose. So yeah, it's not fun. Almost there. I'm going to use this, I think, for a nail polish as well. Try and keep it a little bit matchy-matchy. Right, let's try and be careful. That's one, two. Luckily, they're not all showing. Right. move you up a little bit so you can see the other hand. And there we go. Right, like I said, I've got a nice brown. It's testy, and I need to squeeze more out. With these, you do just need to squeeze this bit and you can actually see the ink in the barrel there. I need to do it again. See, I've squeezed too much now, it's gone everywhere, but I'm glad I did it on this and not on the page itself. Right, so a little bit there, it's still a lot on. That's just splattered everywhere. A little bit there. And there. Again, I think I'm gonna leave that, let it dry, and then we will go back with the pan pastel and the last bit of the gluing the collage. I think that's what I'm gonna call it, the collage bit on. So I will be back in a second. Right, so we're back, zoomed out again, and I think I'm gonna go for this really, really bright blue colour. This might be a mistake, we shall see. And I am going to go with the more of the floral design. I don't even think, oh, I've not got them. I thought I'd organised everything. I need me tools. So I keep all my tools in a little Tupperware container. I've not actually used these yet. So where do you open them? There you go. Right, put that to one side. I'm going to use this one, this design just here. My idea, actually, yeah, I am. I'm going to go in with this first. Let me just move this out of the way. This is the one that I've decided to use. So I'm not going to use scissors. Gonna rip the pieces off and we will just fit them to the page. Now that's covering a hand up, so it's sort of just, you know, messing with it, seeing where it's going to fit. Let me move you up slightly. I don't think I want it at the top because I don't want it covering up. Right. Who was that leak on there? I quite like the leak of that actually. I do like the leak of that. So I've just got some PVA glue. And this is literally just children's PVA glue. It's quite thick. I've not used this in a while actually. So I'm going to pop the glue on the back. I'm just using a very, very old brush here to do this job. Not wanting to spill it everywhere, Debbie. Right. Make sure I get all the edges. Right, I'll try and be a little bit careful because I do want it right in the corner. Let me just move you up. Right, so I'm going to pop it right in the corner, line it up, pop it down and smush it down, and I'm going to add it to the brush and then underneath and just go around the edges, maybe a little bit underneath there as well. A little bit in this corner where I've missed, like that. That should be okay. Right, and the next one, I want to go from this side up. So I'm just going to rip it to fit. Shall we cover our baby up? That might be a good idea, that there. Chop that bit off there. And I popped it there like that. I do like that. So I'm just going to go straight in with the glue again. And hopefully not get it all over my hands and my desk. And let's pop it down. Whoops. Nearly give myself a heart attack then. And just try and line it up as best as I can. Go in with more glue. And again. And possibly I might be able to use just a little bit more. I don't want to cover a hand up. That's the only thing. I don't want to cover a hand up. That looks quite good at the top. I know it's covering a little bit of the flower up, but still. I'll maybe put it there. Oh yeah, there we go. Right, I'm going to go straight in actually and plonk it on like this. Spread it out as best I can anyway. And there we go. I need moving. I don't want it hanging over the edge because it won't go on my binder very well. And again, squish it down. Right, let me just pop that in water because I'll end up wrecking my brush. Put the glue away. You know me, I have to tidy up my mess just a little bit. Right, so we're not using that stencil. We're using this one instead, didn't we? So I'm going to pop this one here. There's not glue in this area, so I'm not too fussed. We should be all right. That will help if I get a too late. So let's find one that's going to be. Let's go with the sponge. It's one of the bigger sponges. Let's see. And let's try one here. I have never used pan pastels over Neocolor 2s or on watercolour paper, so let's just see. This might be a complete and utter mess. Just keep your fingers crossed. I'm holding my breath. Right, are you ready? Oh, it's pretty! It's pretty, I like it. I'm going to do another one here. Right, well now I know I can use my pan pastels over Neocolors and watercolours, and with this stencil, that's fabulous. I could always do an ombre one as well. I'm not doing it on this one. I'm not pushing my luck. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. And I've got pan pastels all over under my finger. The only problem with having acrylics, you get paint and all sorts everywhere. Right, so let's do a flower going over the collage. I don't know how long this video is, and thank you if you've stayed till the end. I do really appreciate it. If you're new, please do subscribe. I'm planning on doing another giveaway once I hit 1,000 subscribers, so hopefully, you know, that won't be too soon. and I hope you like the video. Let's carefully lift that up. Oh. Right, you know what guys, I'm just going to spray that with hairspray when I've finished filming. Are you going to bloody let me zoom out? No you're not. Right, there we go. I'm going to move the camera actually, just bear with me. I want you to see, look at the mess, look at the mess. I want you to see all of it. I was going to use glossy accents on the eyes, but you know what, I think there's enough, you know, going on in this piece, and I am super happy with how it's turned out. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. This is a very longer video actually, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys, bye.